All right, folks, it's Brian. I appreciate y'all coming back and hanging out with me. I am grateful. I want to say thank you to all of the subscribers that I've been getting recently, and I got one particular subscriber this morning that I've been waiting for years to be able to come over and subscribe to my channel, and that happened this morning, and it's just a blessing. I'm humbled um, at at the Lord's blessing, and we're just going to leave that just like that. And this person knows who they are, and it's good to see you. It's so good to see you. So let's talk about this time of the year. It's August. Today is August the 7th, and it's hot outside. Heat index has been, in the upper 90s. We did have a stretch of over 100-degree heat index, and that was rough. It did a number on all of the crops: peas, squash, corn. Um, we had a rough year. Let's talk about that just briefly. Peas, we had 16 rows of peas that were over 200 feet long, and I think we might have got 8 bushels, and we should have been well above 20 bushels. Corn pollinated very, very well, and the period of time where the cobs were forming, where the corn was forming on the cobs, we had a really dry spell, and so the cobs didn't fill all the way out. They were nice and long. They were probably 8 inches, but because of the lack of water, only the lower half of the cob actually filled out. So we had a lot of 3-inch ears, and we had a lot of corn that just didn't even fill out at all, simply because of the lack of moisture. And I take responsibility for that. We could have been doing some watering and trying to help that along a little bit, and we did not, because we were praying for rain, folks. Peas, deer had their way with our peas, and we should have done a better job of protecting those. Just adding to the list. We did have a really good harvest of green beans. I think I put up 60 some odd pints, and my buddy put up, I think, 48 quarts. It might have been a little bit more than that. So we did really well on beans, and we gave a bunch of beans away. And we had some friends come over for the last picking. We just pulled all the plants up, sat under a shade tree, and pulled beans off of plants, and had good fellowship. That was real nice. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Potatoes, I did okay on potatoes. I planted about 40 pounds. I think I got about 350 pounds of potatoes. It's a little bit shy, but I'm not gonna complain. We put a bunch of potatoes up, and we gave a bunch of potatoes away, and we fed a bunch of people, and that was good too. So, what else? Like I said, the heat came on and took the squash out, took the cucumbers out. When it gets real hot, bug pressure becomes a huge issue with squash and cucumbers and stuff like that. So I'm getting ready for the fall. What am I doing for the fall? Out at the big garden, we're planting cover crops. The only cover crop we're really putting out is buckwheat. And buckwheat is a wonderful little plant. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. For human consumption, we have buckwheat flour. And so, if you've ever heard of buckwheat flour, a buckwheat plant is where that comes from. It produces a real pretty seed pod or seed head. It's got a lot of seeds on it, and that's where your buckwheat flour comes from. We like planting buckwheat for multiple reasons. Buckwheat is a good cover crop in your garden because it's adding green manure to to the soil. We're trying to build that soil up. We're trying to improve that soil. So a cover crop is a really good way to do that. A lot of folks use a mixture of seeds. We had buckwheat, and we utilized buckwheat for a couple of other things. So that's what we planted. It's what we had, so it's what we planted. One of the other reasons outside of that green manure or adding nutrients back into the soil or building soil, we like planting buckwheat for our honeybees. Last year we planted buckwheat during the dearth. If you don't know what a dearth is a period during the summers where there's no there's a tremendous lack of nectar for the bees, and so they really suffer during that period. And we like planting buckwheat because it's a really good source of nectar, and it can hold up pretty good during the heat, and it really has a really short lifespan. From germination to flower head is about 30 days, and once it flowers, you've got about a 30 to 45 day window of nectar production and seed production. At the very end, it makes seeds, and it will reseed itself, and that's kind of a nice thing about buckwheat. In addition to the bees, we also plant it for the wildlife, and specifically we're going to speak on deer and quail and doves. We do hunt. We do take meat from the land, and we figure we might as well be contributing to that source of food also. So we plant it for the wildlife also. Last year I was blessed to harvest a doe, and I tell you what, that doe had been eating a tremendous amount of buckwheat. It was just obvious, and the weight of that animal was very much improved as compared to some other deer that I saw that maybe had not been on buckwheat. Quail and dove, they love those little seeds. They're extremely high in protein, and that's really important for the dove and quail population. Really for the quail population, we have been seeing the wild quail population definitely on the rise where we are, and it's so nice to see nice big coveys of quail coming up, and so the buckwheat has a big benefit to them also. The plants are very high protein source as well for the deer, so it will help in filling out that animal, and it will also help in antler production over time. You got to have some consistency in feeding, in supplementing that wildlife. So that's really about all that's going on. We're planting cover crops. We're getting ready for fall, and we're going to be planting a lot of greens, cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage, mustard greens, collard greens, and we're going to go at it, and we're going to put some food away, and it's going to be wonderful. So once again, I just wanted to drop in and tell you what's happening, and thank everybody for coming. Here I am. I think I'm at 294 some odd subscribers, and folks, let's do it. Let's do a push for 1,000. I'd really like to get to 1,000 subscribers. Let's say by Christmas. That'd be a great Christmas present, You think y'all could help out? All right, folks. Y'all have a great day. God bless.